utility, but had the lowest damage per round of the entire team. In fact, the lowest damage per round of the whole lobby on Sky, and only dropped 14 kills, the lowest on his team, with 19 deaths. So I think this is just a course correction here for them. He's playing very well on Jet, making space. He can capitalize aggressively, so why not go for it? And I mean, if it works, it works. They had to change up something, I suppose, after what just happened against TSM about 3 hours ago.
Yeah, and it's again, if he can make it happen, great. And it's something they've done in the past too, so it's nothing too crazy here. Now, early round, and it's going to be a male push here into B Heaven. Shanks has the control. Bot following him up. Nothing spotted just yet, but you can tell that XSET is ready.
Leading the way, and there's a gravity well from Depth too, but none other than the Jet will go on through. And they didn't clear their corners, and Depth capitalizes. The rest of XSET is capable of playing off of that. They don't suspect somebody at such an angle. And it ultimately costs Rise 3 players. Poised and Superman likely standing there wondering what the heck just happened. But Poised will try to narrow the numbers as best as he can. Position in Heaven given away, dancing around, and there he goes. Poised still at 100 HP. He'll retreat to the Astra of Superman as the paint shells go off, doing some damage. Down to 54. The Narrows have numbered, but still an advantage for XSET. It's gone now. Rise of control above. They're putting in work. VCJ's going to play off of the rope. Down one goes, and he gets both of them as Superman is left standing, with Purer being the distraction. And just like in map 1, XSET take the very first pistol round.
VCJ's choice to engage off the rope there is massive. If he hadn't done that, you're looking at Purer definitely dying, as you just noted, down to 2 HP in the end. But really, this right here, I really feel like I broke a record, Parker. I do, because I've said it, this is like the third or fourth time now I'm going to critique Rise for not checking all of their corners. I don't know, I get it, there's a distraction in sight. Oh my gosh, lots of things to shoot at. But then why expose yourself to the angle you don't know is clear?
I mean, frankly, I couldn't tell you. So, because I don't play at this level.
Nor do I.
Yeah, well, you're pretty close. Pura's going to walk right in, by the way, take advantage of Derek looking the wrong way, but Neptune with the Classic will do some work, switch out immediately for the Spectre, can chase off one over by that B main, but no, they'll peel away from the garage, and Neptune will head back to that attacker spawn. So that was the early bit of action. And some damage, a lot of damage, in fact. Sustained on the side of Rise. They're going to need to pick up more weapons if they can continue to drop bodies, but Pure sacrificing himself. That weaponry for Neptune is good, and if there's anybody right now on the side of Rise that you want with a Spectre while your team is at an eco position, Neptune's going to be the one to do that. Maybe some points to Shanks as well.
See, the Rise is ready now. The Nebula has expired. Neptune's going to take the entry here against BCJ, and he'll throw out that orb. Slow this down just a little bit. Obviously, still, though, a commitment to male here for Rise. They've got the spike there as well. You can see the Poise is wrapping back around to try and commit to this take.
BCJ with that right click scared off. He'll have to back away. Doesn't want to engage with what's up there. They'll instead just try to play the time. Zekin runs right into them, and BCJ still unshaken from that spot. Drops Poise. Neptune drops BCJ, and they're going to continue to go back and forth. Time is running out, and the spike is down. They bait in one perfectly, and Neptune takes it. So it's Shanks to do his best. There's just too many bodies up top. And in Heaven, it's XSET to claim round number 2.
As expected. Obviously, the economy would suggest that's what we're going to see. There was, I don't believe, too much of a attempt at Thrifty. I mean, they got some buys here and there, but overall, Rise playing the long game, I think. It's unfortunate that that flank didn't work out in the end. Yeah, nothing too crazy there from Rise. So just a full committed to beat Heaven from Male, and, well, XSET slap it down. Now going into this next round, as you can see, Rise are the ones, the better position financially. They're going to bring full armament. XSET, meanwhile, Frenzy, Spectres, even a Marshal. Let's see what they can do with it.
Oh, this is definitely a cocky lineup from XSET, and it doesn't work out at the beginning, and it doesn't seem to be paying any greater dividends. Zekin's the only one to find a kill thus far, while the rest of his team falls by the wayside. So Rise, they're able to capitalize off of the fact that XSET's lineup was relatively toothless.
Yeah. Good.
BCJ now will be the one on the hunt, going through Ramen, over towards, you want to call that fish? Crab? What do people call it?
I call this trash.
Yeah, that's trash.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, not actual trash. This is
Garbage.
it was more than just unfortunate phrasing. BCJ on the flank, by the way, as we talk about this. The spike goes down, takes out Poised. It's a winnable round, but it's just simply too many looking in one way. They take advantage of Shanks looking towards that link to spawn, and Zekin capitalizes off of that. What was a 4v2 has become a 2v2, but Hopes dashed as BCJ falls. Zekin will have to do it all. Only got one more to go. 3 kills to his name, a 4th from him, but no! Derek says, so long. The Sentinels of Light celebration goes up in style, and Rise finds their first round.
Big win there for Derek. Big win for Rise, obviously. And now we see these teams start to even out just a little bit. Obviously not in the round count quite yet, but now they're both going to be bringing those rifles. So, the execute there into B. Obviously, Rise lost a lot of bodies in positions where you wouldn't have expected them to. And it was a lot closer than it ought to have been, especially considering XSET barely even bought that last round. But now, looking at the economy, it's make or break for both teams.
Well, it's early action. We're only 10 seconds in, and there's 2 players dead, BCJ and Shanks. For Rise, that's not ideal. Shanks has been leading the way on your team through most of these maps. You're going to need him. Neptune is but 1 away from a showstopper. The real question is going to be, can he finally hit a showstopper today? Because, breaking news, we are on 4 hours and 29 minutes of Neptune hitting 0 showstoppers. So, at some point, that streak must end.
Yeah.
Train harder.
Well, Derek gets the pick on to Zekin. The advantage goes in favor of Rise. And if you look, they're heading towards A, the spike halfway. Superman will have no problem getting it down. Poised watching Heaven. A bit of a stun down. And Aaron from Elbow tries to make something work. Can't do it. One at screens now. That's Depths. Pure has taken up spot in Elbow. And Superman will try to jiggle around it. Neptune dives on in. He doesn't get the kill, though. It's Derek to steal it away. The round goes in favor of Rise. Doesn't matter who gets it. All that matters is the goal. And we have a tie game.
Great control there from Rise. They swoop in on A. Great picks to lead off the round as well. And then they just hold firm. Love the post-plant setup there as well, especially by main. Exactly what you like to see. And, I mean, the collapse on Elbow. At that point, XSET's just going for a Hail Mary. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They've lost too many bodies with no results. And, yeah, Rise are starting to clean up once again. I said it in the last map, and I'll say it again here. It really does seem like Rise are slow starters.
Well, was it except on Breeze?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, Breeze notwithstanding.
But yes, I would agree with you. It takes them some time to find their groove. But I mean, it's only 2 rounds thus far.
Yes.
Team looking to try and prove you wrong. Ooh. Pure outduels him. 2 kills from Rise, though, to answer back as they walk away with the advantage in that situation. And immediately healed back up is the Sage. Still low on HP, but Derek will get close to 100, or at least as close to it as possible, given the damage that was done to him earlier on. Neptune, by the way, was the one to die, and he has the showstopper in his back pocket. Shanks brought back to life by Derek now, as XSET finds themselves on the heels. And they have nothing really to show for it. Limited utility other than what Zekin has available, no ultimates whatsoever, so this is Rise to hold on true. Zekin crouched, very stealthy. Aiden patiently pops up. Shanks just destroys him, and it's Depth in a 1v4. Spike planted. Rise looking for their 3rd round in a row. Beautiful shot from Depth. How many more can he hit, though? Surveying the ice wall, looking down below, but nobody playing near the rope. Instead, he's going to check towards Garage. Misses it. Checks back. Cubby, no, there's nobody there. He sees the head pop up at the Cypher, but Derek is the one to get the kill on that. Derek, 2 rounds in a row where you've taken a kill from somebody else. How dare you? Rise of the lead, 3 rounds in a row.
Well played there to Rise. The entry in through B was great. Obviously, XSET just with the Sheriffs trying to make something happen, but you got to commend Rise for not only their entry, but also their patience on said entry and their use of the utility as well. Love the way that Derek not only got the res, the wall was perfect to cover the entry into B. It's pretty standard stuff, but it's still well worth pointing out, considering we've seen some teams overstep their bounds on that, maybe time their utility play a little bit off. Even Rise today has had some trouble with stuff like that. So now fully stacked up on Rise's side, but XSET finally gets to buy some rifles. BCJ over by Mail trying to take the fight to Shanks, and really Nebula is going to make it very difficult for either player to see each other. Shanks has made it all the way into ropes, thanks to that boombot. He knows it's clear all the way up. and there's no one holding the aggressive angle, which means Shanks can now linger here and wait for an opportunity to make a play on the rotate, because it looks like it's shaping up to be an A execute.
Absolutely does, and at some point you're going to need to maneuver in that direction. Some tricks and some tools up the sleeves of XSET, a resurrection as well if they need it, and a divide to try and slow them down. There's the showstopper. He's unsuccessful today, and oh, he's 0 for 5 again. Unlucky as Neptune gets punished for that. The showstopper, a curse, not a blessing in his hands. Down goes one of the better players on Rise. Second is there, though. Can out-duel Derek, who's making his mark on this particular matchup, and will now watch towards screens as Depp pushes towards the site. At some point, that spike is going to need to get planted. Derek, 2 big kills, my goodness. But Aaron says, hey, I can get some of my own. How about 2 for you? Watch towards heaven. Spike needs to be retrieved and will need to be planted at some point. But Poised and Aaron in a 1v1 with 20 seconds left means that going for the kill is the likely scenario. And Poised will bring the heat to him, but Aaron is better. They tie it up. Good job from XSET as they clutch that one out and they equalize at 3 rounds apiece.
What a 1v3 there from Aaron, and he brings it home for his team. They definitely needed that. Just Shanks looking the wrong way. Derek out of ammo, and he can't move, and Boy's just wrong side of that 1v1. Unfortunate for him. Nice movement from Aaron to keep himself in that. Now, that really was just him clutching up, though, to be clear. That certainly was shaping up as a Rise round. That would have been their 4th in a row. Not so. And so we get that even round count. Both teams still financially in this. There's plenty of ults on the board for both teams. Here comes the Viper's Pit, but Shanks goes right over it. And now he's all the way up top ramp, able to make a play from this position. But as you can see, Aaron knows he doesn't need to maneuver. He's got the pit up. Nobody can follow the Jet into sight, except for possibly Neptune, who's somehow managed to make his way into ropes, which again is easily felled on the side of Rise. Not enough control by mid for XSET.
Aaron just sitting, waiting, watching his work as the obstacle that was tossed up doesn't appear to be having the effect that they necessarily want. Rise will now decide, hey, maybe we can focus on B a little bit. Neptune and BCJ, not too far off each other. Not BCJ, Shanks, my apologies. Looking at the wrong Jet. Poise goes down. There's the very first kill from Depth. Pure is there as well, outdoing Shanks. Down he goes. A take with the ice wall will not work as Depth stops that in its tracks.
1 enemy remaining.
Clever parlor tricks, but it doesn't really go anywhere. There was a flawless on the table, but Depth being taken down by Supermen denies it, so Zekken will wrap up Supermen. I'm up with a bow, and XSET pick up their 2nd round in a row.
So the intention there for Rise, obviously, was to go for a double fake out. They committed 2 players to A Heaven, and they thought to themselves, okay, surely XSET will hard rotate off of this, but not so. As is clear, Depth stayed by B, and he held it well. He also had almost immediate support from his teammates as they rotated back through B Heaven, most notably Zekken. So, well, yeah, the fake out did not work out. Rise could have probably met with better success if they just fully committed A, but who knows, as that's a fantasy land. We aren't there. Rise does get the lead-off take on this round. Take a look. We got BCJ on the floor. That's the res gone. Would have been very influential in this round and would have been important. But as you can see, Def able to push up into Ramen and get that pick early. So we're nice and even.
Smooth Criminal walks in, executes, backs away. Down you go. Neptune just dying too early on in too many of these engagements, and you know that Rise's stock would rise, pardon the pun, if Neptune was able to stay around a little while longer. Good news for them is that Derek's been carrying some of the weight, but he's gone too. 3-2, Neural Theft thrown out by Poised, so for that quick snapshot of where the remaining defenders are, that tiny bit of intel can be so crucial for these teams. Poised wrapping through attacker spawn. He knows that the spike is not too far off, but being guarded by 2 separate members of XSET. He's unsure of this. He knows Aaron's there, wins the fight, looks for the second spray transfer, not good enough, so Shanks will be the one to try and do it. He'll make some noise when he pulls out his weapon. And there you go. Do they hear it? That's the question. Depth's sights turn in that direction. Shanks not able to do it. He has to go for the reload, and Depth cleans up. XSET putting on a nice streak of their own as that's their 3rd round in a row.
All right, Parker, one thing I'm noticing, it's the same thing we saw in the TSM match, actually, Rise versus TSM, at least here on Split, is that when we see Rise get a little too spread out, it does cause problems for them. And it's even more problematic with XSET than it was with TSM, because XSET have that same kind of tenacity, that same aggression that Rise has been utilizing through this entire play day. Frankly, Rise need to, I think they need to bundle up a little bit more. It's been a big key to their success in a lot of other maps, and I get that the fake outs are common on Split. They haven't worked yet.
Well, this action is going to come over towards Vents, as there goes the Boombot. Depth is there to greet them, not by Mail, but up by Heaven, and look at those silhouettes all lined up. There goes a Boombot to try and do some damage, maybe strike fear in the heart, and a Showstopper goes in. It's good enough for one. Finally, a Showstopper kill pops up. It's not Neptune, though. It's Pure. Neptune outduels him, though, so Imposter down as Aaron posts up watching Heaven towards the top of the ropes. Zekin holds through. 2 kills lined up perfectly. Derek will be the one to try and save it, but he can't do it. And XSET is on just a heck of a streak. Rise have never called a timeout today. Are we going to see that break at some point as they now find themselves slowly but surely losing the plot here on Split?
I don't know, Parker. I mean, you got them right now in what appears to be a pistol round, so they're not going to be able to buy up too heavily. Oh, they are actually going. It looks like they're going to try and thrifty this. Okay.
You're not better than me.
That's dangerous to be sure, but at this point, you got to try something. As XSET are starting to put these rounds together in such succession that you really can't let them walk away with the half.
Pain shells in hand. 3 separate players from Rise who could be unfortunate victims of this, and look at that. They're going to go for the boost up once that wall falls. Will they wait out the entirety of it? That's the real question. That's a clencher. No, oh my, 4 of them in, but no, they missed. That's bad timing. There's one who doesn't make it through. The spike doesn't do it, and XSET can do some serious damage off of that. A tricky play, but the Tricksters don't get away with it. Not for long. BCJ and the rest of XSET able to capitalize off of that. Superman and Poised, their entry blunted as Superman had fallen off of that wall when it went up. Down goes the spike on the ramp, and a resurrection will come in just to try and do some greater work, but Poised swats him away. 2 big kills for him on the ramp, looking for a third, but Zekin is there. There was just too many bodies from XSET for him to contend with, and 2 remain. Def and Zekin give XSET another round.
Oh, it's still really good punishment there from Poised on the economy. Managed to get 3 kills at the end, and most importantly, obviously, wasting the res from XSET. That is unfortunate. BCJ and his team, that res was not successful. But very fortunate overall, because they did win. They won the round. They are punishing Rise here severely. As we find ourselves on round number 11. We'll see what can happen here for Rise. This is their make it or break it. They've got the rifles. This is a pretty bad spot for them to find themselves in. 2 early kills on Def and Zekin, who are way too far up, and they get nothing for their effort. Pure is going to try and recoup some losses here. Comes the Ferrari peak, and there it is. Shanks goes down, and there's nobody else to assist him. Derek with the read. Now it's all BCJ and Aaron. Just make that BCJ, I guess, as he finds himself at top ramp. And unfortunately, he could make this a 2v3 if he had the rest. He doesn't. And he's going to get 1. He needs to find 2 more. The post plan, it's even more tricky. He pushes up towards main. And yeah, no, it's not going to happen. I said 2 more. I actually meant 3 more. Neptune barely goes to himself with 1 HP, but he still manages to influence that round.
Quite literally 1 HP in a dream.
Yep.
Almost as if we say that quite regularly. Look at that scoreline right now. Derek, 14 kills for his team. And I mean, obviously, you don't just want to fixate on those kills. Playing as Sage, there's fragging potential there from Sage's. We've seen Sage's top frag on Icebox when she was a crucial part of that meta. But he's really shown up huge. I hate to focus on it, but there's another showstopper in the pocket of Neptune. I'm just going to have like a laser-like focus on this. At some point, Neptune, you got to hit one of them. You're 0-5. Your accuracy rate is about the same as the analyst desk right now. You're going to have to improve it.
Actually, the analyst desk did get 1 right. Go Van Silly.
No.
Oh, sorry. I mean, the crazy thing is that Neptune's been such a performer overall in the day. It's so weird to critique him, because he's been one of the best players in this lobby, and through the entire day, really.
Well, This is a very calm and patient round. Does XSET have the lead, but Rise want to be within striking distance? 7v5 or a 7-5 scoreline and then 2 pistol rounds is good enough to tie things up. Starts off poorly for them. It gets a little bit better as Superman with that divide in pocket will die. That's an ultimate not able to be used. Pure goes down. One more kill for that. Raze could have knocked in an ultimate on her end. Superman brought back, though. The resurrection from Derek works. And there's Neptune taking matters into his own hands. The Phantom, though, this time around. No ultimate up. Shanks bursting upwards to try to get information. This has been a lot of time killed off the clock by XSET and Rise as hesitation has come in a number of times. And a rotate might be in the cards. Divide goes up, and no, the focus will be on B. That's where the spike is. We've been so fixated on A as Aaron shuts them down, but Poise gets the entry, what he wants. Showstopper pulled out by Neptune, and they'll need to get that spike down. The missile goes off, nobody hits, and only 5 seconds left means Neptune needs to plant. Will he have time to do so? There he is. Def waiting. A shot missed on his end, but the second doesn't. It's all in the hands of Derek in a 1v2. The Divide's still up in front of him. Def is on this. You have to hurry. You have to hurry. No, you get off. Derek, you're the hero this time. A massive clutch. And that first half still is XSET's. But 7-5 as the gap has narrowed. Michael, we've got ourselves another ball game.
What a shot there. The follow-up from Derek. Perfect. Onto Def. Anything other than that headshot, he likely loses that fight, but he's good enough to do it. Very well played. What a first half. And yeah, huge recovery from Rise.
Absolute back and forth battle between these teams. So many writing off Rise in that TSM matchup. And now a comeback potentially brewing. We'll see what happens when the side swap, because there's still potential. XSET could still run away with this. All we can do is speculate. But let's not do that. Let's actually get to the matchup. But we have a break first. So we'll get there, and then we'll come back. Don't touch that browser.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the
Well, as the music now quiets down, we're ready. We're ready for the second half. If Rise pull through here, Michael, they move on. And XSET, one of the highest rated teams coming into this weekend, I guess you could call it, because technically it started on Wednesday, go home.
The long weekend, I guess. No, yeah, it could be that, Parker.
You laughed. Where was the joke?
You were the joke. You were the butt of that joke, Parker.
How dare you?
You know what? I dare all the time.
All
now
right.
let's see. What were we doing? Oh yeah, that's right. Casting a match. Something along the lines of high pressure, high stakes, elimination match, yada yada.
Yeah, this is the second seeded team in XSET going up against the 8th seeded team in Rise, and Rise has already bounced TSM out earlier. Apologies for the spoilers if you're just tuning in, but of course we run these in sequence. Winner of this matchup will play the winner of FaZe Clan versus Team Envy. That's live right now, by the way, and we await the victor of that matchup. Before we get there, let's settle what happens here. Split was picked by Rise. They currently trail through that first half. They were on attack. It's now XSET's turn to see what damage they can do. If required, Ascent is the third map. So, with that said, this is Pistols out. Derek, he's been leading the team, and no doubt will continue to do that. He gets traded out by Pure, as Neptune's been having a bit of a rough matchup in comparison to matches previously. Down goes Pure. XSET will trail. Though, before they lost those two bodies, they did some significant damage to Rise. Nice shot from depth. That's a beautiful thing. And he's got Neptune so low on HP, just 1 or 2 clicks will do it at whichever range he gets to. Aaron punishing Superman, and it's Shanks with the spike down to try and now deal with the 2 remaining members of XSET. Both, by the way, at full HP. Frenzy in the hands of BCJ. Knows one's an elbow, so Shanks will take that fight. The Frenzy can't really do too much. You have to reload, and BCJ knows that. He presses the advantage. The first pistol round goes to XSET.
Wow, that was a close one, though. Parker could have gone either way. The flank from Shanks was just a little too slow. And the fact that XSET read that situation well, read the fact that they needed to get aggressive by heaven, by screens, and committed to that. Just what the doctor ordered. So XSET, they know that if they let this map continue on, obviously the longer it goes, the worse it gets for them, considering how close they are to taking a win. So every single moment is going to count. And XSET has, through this entire match, not taken their foot off the gas. They have maintained their aggressive confidence, and it showed a lot in that round.
Confidence has been the name of the game for both of these teams, especially XSET through their entire run over the last couple months. But for Rise, I imagine they have no shortage of confidence. We saw it when we actually interviewed them just a couple weeks ago in their matchup. And unfortunately, they didn't make as deep of a run as they'd wanted, but they still got an opportunity to make some noise here. That third spot for NA at Berlin is still on the line, up for grabs. And if you're either of these teams, you want to make it work. The shorty, in this case for Derek, does not, as Def gets the lead-off pick for XSET.
Yeah.
Neptunes will back away. Neptune up the ramp and wait.
And that's one of 3 shorties, by the way, on the side of Rise. They know what they like on these I can't buy anything rounds. So let's see if it works for them over by B main, as you've got 4 bodies up close. And it's going to be 1 for Superman, but only 1 as Zekin shuts them down. That's the problem with Shorty. You just don't have enough ammunition, but still lots of damage done. Def and Zekin were punished there. A-Ring will catch, poised in mid, and down goes Shanks by Raptors. It's now just Neptune. And yeah, he doesn't really have a lot of chance here. He's going to have to work a miracle to win this one.
That was the Homer Simpson meme, where after the final player that wasn't Neptune died, he just kind of slowly backed away into the bushes.
Yeah. That actually looked exactly like that. It
was exactly what it was. Just, I don't want to deal with this. So away you go. XSET took that very first pistol round. Momentum carries over, and it is so rare that we see teams able to translate a second pistol round, just simply because you are in such a bad spot, not just financially, but also what you have. So Neptune's going to go hunting. He's just going to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing he can really do here. I do find it funny that Neptune just walked by Aaron, and Aaron he just wasn't watching top mid. That was hilarious. But yeah, in the end, didn't really amount to very much there. That you expect that result from Rise. Taking a look at the scoreboard here, one thing to note, or two things to note actually, and part of why we might be where we are right now with this 5-9 scoreline favoring XSET, is that we have both Neptune and Superman underperforming per expectations. Superman's been on fire through this whole day. So has Neptune, except for when he's using the Showstopper. I think he's 0 for 6 on this right now through the day.
That's correct.
Yeah, and but apart from that, they've been really popping off, and this has just not been their map so far.
I called it Sabrosa ult when they were playing against TSM, but I didn't want to seem too mean-spirited. Though I'm sure the chat was the one helping me in that regard.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
XSET took these first 2 rounds here on the second half. As they continue to stretch their lead, it will grow. It's a full buy coming in from Rise, and this is a must-win round for them. They lose it. XSET goes up to 10, and well, paint shells work. Down goes 1 as Poised finds the first kill for Rise. He'll back away by the boxes. Outduels 1. Derek's there for backup. Neptune looking for another. Can't do it. Zekin picks up a pair of kills. Will continue to march forward. That'll be all she wrote for BCJ. That Spike is surrendered as well. And Zekin, who's got 2 kills so far, will need to add to that and make it 4 if he wants to win the round. Sees the smoke go out and knows the location of 1, but can't really engage the way he wants. It can be swung from the right. Also unaware if there's somebody up in heaven. Spike is surrendered. That's the particular problem. Derek, who's been great so far, gives Rise their very first round here on the second half.
That's big. That's really big for Rise, and really props to the players holding firm on B. No fallback here. Poised in a great position by Raptors, and he manages to get 1 before finally being taken down. Actually 2, excuse me. And that fallback position when you're holding a spot and you manage to punish the entry makes it so much easier for the cleanup crew. That's Shanks in this case, and Derek technically, who was playing deep sight, to come in from their rotate and, oh, as the namesake goes, clean up.
Oh, comeback for Rise fans, you hope starts there. The score is 6-9 right now for XSET as, well, this is Rise's map. We talked about this too, given the way that today has gone. I don't know if you saw, but during the break, Sully had tweeted out, and he said, I love the script that Riot wrote for today, and I gotta say, it's pretty exhilarating, and that's just from our perspective. We haven't seen the other matchups. We didn't see the Luminosity phase game, and we're not able to watch the Envy phase game that's presently going on right now. Once again, sorry for spoilers, but this is a live broadcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that Boombot, real quick, that is going to spot somebody by A main, so Rise is aware that this could be an A push. And it is setting up to be just that, as we got 3 by main, 2 by ropes. It's going to be a really interesting collapse here for XSET.
And Neptune's going to be the one to watch for it, because that's exactly where the aggression comes from. Seeker's tossed him in that direction. Depth starts things off, but Neptune, trying to be the brick wall, can't do it. Piece by piece, brick by brick, XSET is disassembling Rise. 30 seconds remaining for that spike to get planted. XSET have the control that they want of the A site. The remaining 2 members of Rise will need to retake with just about 20 seconds to go. Spike was being planted, but they think otherwise of it. Zekin putting in work. Eric says no thanks, that's enough. He's up top in heaven, and a beautiful shot from Depth will seal the deal, and it certainly feels like a third map is on the books.
And we're only 3 rounds away from just that happening, Parker. It does seem likely at this point, as XSET have been really great on these executions. The push up through ramp, gotta love the heaven focus, especially when you work it with that rotate through the ropes. Now you've got a pincer movement on the 2 anchors over by A, who happen to be playing by ramp and heaven. It's exactly what you need to get that site firmly in your control if you're XSET. It worked out great, and the rotate for Rise is just a little too slow because they didn't have enough warning. Now going into the next round, as just discussed, this is a lot of pressure now on Rise. And I like what we're seeing here. They rotate their Cypher into vents to try and use his utility to at least give forewarning when that push is happening from mid.
That Sage Wall that was just thrown out from Derek, not particularly useful immediately. 2 of the chunks of ice taken out by XSET, as they're very quick to react to that. But while they do that, even though it is a costly piece of utility, the upside is you know that there's at least 2 of your opponents in that general direction.
Oh.
Information can be quite crucial, so what can they do with that? Well, they seem to have been largely bamboozled. As XSET very quietly creep up to the A site, it's Shanks there. Maybe looking the wrong way. That very first bullet goes out, and that's a position now of XSET given away over by Elbow. Shanks is punished for it, and so is Poised. 2 players from Rise down for the count, and XSET will look to get that spike down. They're over halfway. Everybody from Rise being stopped in their tracks as they look to get to the site, and they're not able to do it all that well. So for Superman and Neptune, what do you do at this point? This was a save round in Eco. They didn't really have the weaponry that they wanted. Down goes Neptune. A flawless on the board for XSET with 2 rounds after that, sealing the deal on this map and sending us all the way over to that third and fateful map. I want to see Ascent, to be honest, with the way that the day is going.
Yeah, we've got some really good Valorant being played here today, and I'd like to see more of the continuation. I do worry about Rise, though, you know, in the long run, because you talked about how sometimes teams can really get warmed up when they have a long day. They'll in that lower bracket run, and they have to play 2 matches one after another. But, I mean, it does get harder and harder for Rise the longer this goes on, well, with the exhaustion starting to set in. So my question is, if we do get to that third map, and we have all the other things going on the side that add a little extra bits of delay, little nuggets of time that Rise now has to eat up, are they going to be able to keep that energy up? Because that's been a big part of their plays, their energetic aggression. And I wouldn't say it's diminishing right now. I don't think so in the slightest. Right now, I mean, like last round, they didn't even get rifles, but it is something to consider.
I can't believe there hasn't been a timeout taken yet. Like, can we talk about this for just a second? Like, I mean, is there anybody who's watching right now? Explain this to me. Explain why these teams don't want to take timeouts. If you're Rise, you have decided to forego all timeouts. I mean,
So XSET, I think, yeah.
XSET hasn't called one either, but so far through this map, they've been in the driver's seat. This round, maybe not so much, as Aaron gets punished for his overextension. First pick goes in favor of Rise.
Ooh,
Neptune could have had another, by the way, up in heaven, and he's going to leave Superman all on his own, as the focus from XSET right now is very much towards B, and they find Neptune and then Superman as well. They've cleared out heaven. They can continue to march in that direction, but tucked in the cubby is Poised. He's waiting there. Seekers will go out from Zekken. Poised's position will be given away as he shoots that through. A Trailblazer will follow, and now as well, the slow from the Ice Orb. So Poised is essentially trapped in this corner, and he's getting dealt with by Zekken, just continuously firing through the cage. He'll collapse on him, down he goes, but Derek brings Neptune back from the dead. There's a fighting chance now. Rise actually has a big advantage, and it's BCJ is the last one to fall. And just like that, they turn the round on its head. Rise walk away with round 18.
Well, this is where you see the depth of Rise. We've been talking about the performance of Superman. We've been talking about the performance of Neptune. Not as desired, obviously. But then, again, you've got other players like Shanks who step in and be that bolster. And it's, in fact, it is his role, obviously, as the duelist, as the Jet. 4K in that round, though. You can't obviously get that every round, and it's big that he got it there. Rise needed to regain some semblance of momentum. And even with that win, they're still not fully in it. We still see a Spectre in play here in lieu of a Phantom or a Vandal.
Well, XSET got 4 bodies over towards B, as they know that they're very close to being able to put this one away, but they can't allow Rise to gain some momentum, because one more bad round and XSET finds themselves in a tougher spot eco-wise, and it could go from bad to worse if there's yet another successful round for Rise. Very quickly, things can swing back in their favor.
I swear, these teams are the mirror image of each other. We just saw a Gravity Well into a paint shell from XSET, followed up by a Gravity Well into a paint shell from Rise. It's just... And they were both in the same lane.
Don't forget the Gravity Well on the Boom Bot as well. That was something that we saw earlier on, so...
It's just, they play so similarly. And that not just in terms of utility, but also in terms of the aggression we've been seeing, the confidence as well. It's a big cornerstone of both these teams.
Oh, Pure shut down as he pulls out the showstopper. None for you, as Superman now falls back. And that was the pick that was so needed from Rise, as this has been a sluggish round from XSET to establish map control. 30 seconds remaining, and Rise looking to keep themselves in this, not wanting to give an inch to XSET, who are but a couple rounds away from a victory. On XSET's map, It was Rise who won. XSET looking to do the same here. And all of XSET will now link up as there's a divide from above. Flash goes out. I don't know if Poise's position has been given away, but now he can see, and there's going to be a bull rush. Poise trying to capitalize off of it. They're all just killing each other above. And in heaven, they will need to live as the spike must be planted. So close, yet so far. It goes down. Shanks trying to get on in, but there's a missed opportunity for Aaron. He'll follow up, but Shanks capitalizes. Depth, last one up. Spike is down. He'll have to play off of this 85 HP. No utility, at least not now, but that divide is still up. It'll clear. Derek full HP. Shanks has still the ability to make some noise here as there's utilities, abilities in hand. Vandals and all three of the players remaining. Diffusing. Def is waiting for a fake. He hears it. They reach the halfway point. Back on it. They'll go. Def will look to swing, but he forfeits it. Picks up both the kills, but it doesn't matter. The round still goes in favor of Rise, so you can put a damper on them, but you still ultimately give up that round.
That was way too patient to a fault there for Def. This over here in heaven, wow, what a absolute mess. I love it. I love every second. Aaron though running out of he ran out of bullets in his primary. He didn't reload when he rotated up to rafters. That's so unfortunate, and being punished for that, that's I think the breaking point for XSET. Shanks, really well done, falling back and still able to get the kill. Now we find ourselves in a situation where, once again, both teams able to reasonably buy, but we still see two Spectres in play. Down goes the wall early for XSET. They're going to go ahead and shoot it open. That'll give away their positions, but obviously both these teams are not going to over-rotate whether on defense, and Rise, in this case, is no exception.
Bomb Buddy goes straight forward. Boombot. Explosive robot.
Boom, boom, zoom, zoom.
The Boom Roomba.
Ooh, I like that.
The amount of just like funny terms that I've heard watching Valorant streams is incredible. One. Well, BCJ, how about that one? Nice lineup onto Neptune, and he just lets one go by, and Superman going by means that Aaron falls. With Aaron falling, Spike goes down by the spawn of the attackers. The Astra can just hold on to this position right now.
Yeah,
Superman doesn't have access to that Cosmic Divide, so you wait for now. Spike is still surrendered and needs to be picked back up. He doesn't need to overextend here. He can let them go past. The clock's at 30 seconds. By the time they get that spike and push towards the actual site, it might be a little bit too late. All the while, Shanks had gotten a kill off screen on a Def. So that Astra is down. Are they going to go A or B once they retrieve the spike? They don't have time to head A, and they've only got 20 seconds left. Ice Wall goes up, damage coming out. Superman blinded. Poised will spray through, but BCJ prevails in that fight. Pure was his as well. Only 10 seconds left. Shanks with 2 more. He's got 3 on the round. Zekin holding off, takes out Shanks. Only 5 seconds left. It's him against Derek. It's literally 1 HP in a dream. Derek falls away. No time. And that's another round for Rise.
Great job to Derek, making sure he kept his eye on the timer and fell out from that engagement before he gave any opportunity to Zekin to clutch that up. I mean, yeah, he's got 1 HP, but why take the risk? Speaking of why take the risk, I love the way that Rise ditched that spike deep over by attacker spawn. The only thing they could have done by extending to hold that is take a risk, open themselves up to being collapsed upon by all of XSET, and instead, Rise are playing the objective. They're playing Valorant the way it's meant to be played. They're playing smart, and you'll love to see it. Patience, winning them around. They're that much closer now to bringing this to even, but it's still a tall order, as XSET is just 2 rounds away from locking this out and moving us on to map 3.
Still XSET not in a bad position eco-wise.
Rise are.
They absolutely are. Which is not where you want to be. Scoreline the way it is. 9-11. Well, 11-9, I suppose, but it reads 9-11 across the screen at your top. Sometimes brain don't work.
It's okay.
I think it's the heat. It's just slowly melting us all.
Yeah, it's pretty hot where I am.
It's like 40 degrees Celsius in Philadelphia. I don't know what that is in yours.
We're casting North America, Parker. No one's going to know what that means.
I'm sorry. Anyway, Showstopper in from Neptune. He's 0 for 7. And that one doesn't connect. Maybe some zoning ults. Who knows? Showstopper not good enough to do all that much. In terms of abilities, Right now, the slight nod and an advantage goes to Rise. XSET realize that maybe we should
30
focus on the
seconds
A
left.
site, and that's where they'll go. But once again, a bit sluggish, a bit slower than they need to be. Through Heaven, we'll see what they can do. As Rise circles the wagons towards A. Shanks gunned down by Def. Derek capitalizes. Another lined up, but he misses, just shooting a little bit above A-Run. Superman also down, and XSET have the advantage that they need. It's poised in Neptune in a 2v4. Plenty of time left to get the spike planted, and they'll do just that as the Viper Pit just continues to spread outwards. Aaron's not going to play inside of it, though. No, he'll be in the corner, just waiting. Rest of his team, though, well, they'll be all spread around. This is where things get real nasty. Neptune breaks in, and he's punished for it. Poised from above. Only good enough for one before Zekin stops him. Match point for XSET.
They are very close here, Parker, to bringing us to that map number 3. I missed it. Was that 0 for 7 for the showstoppers on Neptune?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. I was just checking.
Yes, I believe it is.
I imagine having it there to cleanse the Viper's Pit, too. Unfortunate. Of course, hindsight's 2020, though. I mean, what are you going to do? Now, XSET, big round there. Love the way they wrapped through ropes into A, and Rise is just a little bit too committed to B. Didn't have enough to stop the push. And, well, yeah, well done to XSET. Now, with Rise's economy sufficiently shattered, XSET find themselves in a position where they are fully loaded and stacked up, ready to lock this one out and bring us to Ascent.
Like the hierarchy, by the way, the tier list giving Shanks and Derek the 2 best weapons on the team, as they have so far been the 2 best players. Next up, Poise, then Superman, Neptune all the way down at the bottom. It's been a rough matchup for him on this Raze, but on Ascent, maybe you reunite him with another role that works out a little bit more favorable. Does he play the Phoenix on that map? Do they keep him on the Raze? This is all speculation.
Sky.
Even though it's only 1 round, it is still possible that Rise can pull this one out. They are 3 rounds away from overtime. XSET just needs 1. Zekin down first. There's no res available for BCJ yet, so because of that, the Seekers from Zekin will stay in his pocket. Watching the push from B, that's where Rise is focused on, and it'll be B main, but BCJ doesn't see that. Derek lights him up, 3 kills, and then through the wall looks for another. It's poised to do it, and it might have been a bit of a budget round, but Rise pull it out, and they'll be rewarded handsomely for that.
That gravity well just did not have enough coverage deep inside of B. And also, I mean, you expect that, right? You expect there to be a safe zone deep B from the gravity well, but the spray came through the wall, and it didn't connect with Derek. So the planning there to try and dislodge any potential players from deep B or back B site was not successful for XSET. And, well, obviously we saw the result. Well done to Derek. But also, great job to Shanks, going for that very brazen, aggressive push through A main, and down into water to try and get that kill. It worked out great. Looks like this is going to be a wall boost. All 5 of XSET ready to hit it.
There go the Seekers that had been just held on to, maybe a little bit longer. Some slows for Derek over by screens. Shanks tries to capitalize off of that, finds one, runs away, gets out of there. That's all he needed. A single kill as the Trailblazer now finds him up top in Heaven. Who next will be the one to challenge on ramps? Is it BCJ? Shanks needs to be very aware of this, as there goes some of that ice wall, and a res gets brought in onto Pure. So, enter Raze brought in, but immediately killed by Shanks. Poised is the next one to die. Derek swings around on screens. This is his office. At the moment, is he taking clients? That's the real question. Out go the paint shells from Neptune to try to do some damage. Derek swings in, but BCJ finds 2. Derek will need to clutch out. There's 1 kill for him, but Zekin says no. XSET take map number 2, stealing it from Rise.